about the things in my past, that doesn't mean that I don't have value. That actually means that what I've been through in my past, that has actually signed off on the fact that I do have value. Those things that you've been through, those things that you allowed to process you, this is what added to the value that you carry. That now that the fact that you've been through something, now you have something to push out. Now you have something to pour out. The fact that you've been through something. The fact that you do have a past. And you can't allow people to hold you to your past. Because see, you don't live there anymore. You're in your future. So you don't have to allow anyone to come in and devalue you because of what you've been through and the things that you have experienced. You don't have to allow anyone to come in and devalue you. You have to know your worth. There's a certain way that you hold your head up when you have value. There's a certain way that you walk in a room when you have value, when everyone is looking at you and trying to figure out who you are. Where did he or she come from? It's because you know you have value. You know that your words carry weight. You know this because you know that you are valuable. You know that when you exit out of a relationship, you know that they have lost their value because you have exited out of the relationship, because you know what you even brought to that relationship. Because you know what you carry. So you don't have to keep allowing the abuse in relationships and feeling like you have to continue to stay in something. You don't have to stay in anything that brings you pain. You don't have to take that when you can do better. And even if you haven't gotten there, that you are capable of getting there. We stay in things that have expired, that have been dead, because we feel like we can't do any better and that we need that person, when actually they're getting that power from what's on the inside of you. That if you leave, that you'll see how that their life will kind of begin to minimize, because they've been using what's on the inside of you the whole time. That they really don't have what you think. What you think they have is really yours. It's what's on the inside of you. You're the one that's giving them the fuel. So stop thinking that you have to stay in something because you don't have what they have, when you are capable of getting everything that you're supposed to have in order to exit out of that relationship that has expired. You're able to embark on another endeavor. You don't have to stay in something that has expired, that will cause your anointing to become stale, that will cause what's on the inside of you to dry up, that will cause what you're trying to give birth to, that it will cause you to have stillborn babies. You don't have to stay in relationships that have expired when you are the one with value. You don't have to stay in it. No, you don't. You are capable of producing. You're capable of being an entrepreneur. You're capable of owning your own home. You're capable of running the ministry. You're capable of doing everything that God has called you to do. You're capable of it. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take the physical abuse because he may be financially stable and you're not. You don't have to take that abuse and you feel like you can't do any better when you have value. I don't care if you gotta get a hotel. I don't care what you gotta do. I don't care what you have to sacrifice to know that you have value and that you don't have to stay in that relationship. You don't have to take being degraded. You don't have to take that emotional abuse because he has made you feel like you need him, when actually he needs you, because as I stated, you're the one that gives him or her power. They're using what's on the inside of you. They're using your spark. They're using your power. You don't have to stay in it. There was a place in my life that I had to be almost homeless because I refused to stay in something that I didn't have to. When they were breaking who I was, they were breaking the very thing that God put on the inside of me. They were breaking me. They were breaking my mind. And I didn't care what I had to go through to get out. I didn't care about the sacrifices. I didn't care what it was going to cost me to get out of it. I didn't have to say that. I didn't care what I was going to have to do to get out of that situation. I didn't care how uncomfortable I was going to have to be to get out. I didn't care how I was going to have to learn new things, that I was going to have to learn how to connect to new people. I didn't care how uncomfortable I had to be to know that I had value, that I didn't have to stay in that situation, that I had value. I didn't care what my mama went through, where I saw her being beaten, that she felt like she had to stay in that marriage with my father. I didn't want to repeat that cycle. I knew that I had value and that I was going to do everything to break the curse, that I was going to do everything to rise above what the enemy has deemed me to die in, where the enemy will leave you for dead, where the enemy would think that you have to lay in the blood. That know that I didn't care how I had to crawl myself out of the blood, where the enemy had beaten me down so far that I didn't know who I was anymore, that I didn't know if I was coming or going, that I knew that I had to pull myself up, just me and God and my children, that I didn't care how my knees were scrubbed and how there was so much blood coming from me, that I knew that I had to crawl myself out of this place because I knew that I had value, that I knew that I could not stay in this place. What is it that you're willing to sacrifice to come out of the relationship so that you know that you have value? What is it that even after you have to move back with your parents, not caring what people say, not caring how they talk about you in your situation, because you know that you have to come out of that place because you know that you have value. You have value. And that you have to redeem back what you've allowed the enemy to steal from you. You have value. When will you walk in the value that you carry? When is it you'll know that God has created you for a reason? There's a purpose on the inside of you. There's a purpose for the pain that you've been through. When will you allow the pain to pay you? When will you start being paid for the pain that you experience? That you will create a platform for your pain. That there's a revenue for the pain that you have experienced. There's revenue. There's residual income for what you have experienced. When will you see the light that's shining so bright? I can see the light shining so clear on the inside of you. I can see the multiplicity of businesses that's on the inside of you. I see the spark, and I see how the enemy is trying to do everything that he can to demise the spark that's on the inside of you. When will you stop allowing the enemy to come in and dim your light? I see the light on the inside of you. I see it shining so bright. I see the light. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see the light in the inside of you, and I see it. And I see that the light that is going to bring solutions to tables, that you're going to sit at tables where you didn't even have the degree, that the favor that's on your life that is going to allow you to sit at tables and bring solutions, that the light that's on the inside of you that is going to bring you before great men, that is going to allow you to sit on platforms. Oh, I see the light. I see it shining on the inside of you, and you can't allow no one to come in and dim that light. You, man of God, woman of God, daughter, son, there's a light on the inside of you. No, you don't have to keep selling drugs. No, you don't have to keep laying on your back. No, you don't have to allow the emotional and physical abuse, because there's a light on the inside of you. You already have a strategy. You already know how the business aspect. You so dope. So you already know the business aspect on what it will take to keep a business running. You already have strategies, the foundation of it. No, you don't have to keep allowing things. You don't have to keep allowing those things to come in to dim your light. No. There's a light on the inside of you, and I can see it is shining so bright. I see the light. I see the light that's on the inside of you, how it's going to spark other men. I see how it's going to spark other women, that it's going to ignite them. It's going to ignite them to get up. It's going to ignite them to rise up. It's going to ignite them to rise above the occasion. That light that's on the inside of you, that light that's so valuable. I see the light that is shining, that is going to cause men to change. That is going to cause women, teenager, children. It's going to cause them that you can get over the molestation, that you can get over the rape. There is a better place. You don't have to stay stuck. There's another place that you can move from this. You don't have to stay stuck in your mind. There's a light that's on the inside of you that you don't have to allow the enemy to keep dimming your light. There's a light that's shining bright. I see it. I see it. I see it. I see the light. I see it on the inside of you. I see it. I see it. I see it. It's going to cause, oh my God, I see the light that's on the inside of you, that the light that's shining so bright, that it's going to bring, strategies to other businesses, that you're going to be the financial advisor for major corporations, the light that's shining. That's why the enemy, he didn't want you to see that light. He didn't want you to see that thing that was glistening on the inside of you. He didn't want you to know who you are, because he knew that if you find out who you were, that he knew that you would take off like a rocket. He knew that you would shoot out and that you would launch. He didn't want you to know who you were. He didn't know. He didn't want you to know who you are. He didn't want you to know. So I speak to the light that's on the inside of you, that you will allow it to spark, that you will allow it to shine, that you will know